Hi everyone! I'm really sorry I'm a little bit late. You can put me into tension if you want. I just had an interview by the fabulous local journalist photographer Cullen Bushell, who has asked to do my story, which is quite exciting. So he wanted to do my story for a Facebook page called Humans of the Gap. So there apparently used to be going for I don't know when it stopped, but anyway, it was going and it kind of got a little bit redundant. So it had stopped and they're going to relaunch it and restart it. And Karen Bessell is going to be the first story. So I had my photographs taken. Good job I dyed my hair this morning. So here's my first funny story. Obviously with, hi Louise. Hopefully, yeah, so I wanted to get my hair dyed because actually having watched myself on TV or on Facebook, I could see that my grey was coming through. It is what it is. But obviously you can't get any hair appointments because you can only sit in a chair for 30 minutes. So I thought, okay, I'll go and get myself a home hair dye. Nice and easy. Wrong. Hard and rubbish. I mean, the colour's a bit blotchy. And it's all a bit, it was all a bit tragic. There was lumps of colour dropping off in the bathroom this morning. And anyway, it was random, let's put it that way. But here we are. So we're going to start our daily doodle today. And I'm just going to take you off the tripod. Do you remember yesterday I showed you the art hack? So I'm going to flip this round. I showed you how to make your own watercolours, and I said get some jam jars and put some water in them and stick your dodgy felt tips that don't work anymore, break them up and put them in, and overnight you will get watercolour. This one here was slightly different. If you remember, I showed you that was a paint that had paint tube that had no paint in it at all. So I sliced it up with a craft knife and just put it in water, and again that's giving us some paint as well. So I just wanted to show you, these are the colours that come out. They're very, very, very soft, okay? And actually, when you paint them, if I show you right away, let's say I use the purple, so I'm going to use the purple. When you paint with them, because they are so watery, they don't, in fact, actually that's gone pretty strong. Because they're so watery, often they don't come out with a lot of colour straight away when you paint them. When they dry, they brighten up, okay? But there's your top hack, and it really, really is fantastic. So we're going to do this picture today, which is our flying meditation. I did a quick draft of it here, and you can see I painted with those watercolours. So I'm not going to paint with proper watercolours today. I'm going to paint with those watercolours so that you can see, well, they're not watercolours, those felt tip homemade watercolours, so that if you don't have watercolours at home and you're in isolation and you're locked down, then see if you can find some textures, some felt tips, or even highlighters, school highlighters. Again, break them open, stick them in some water, and you'll get some colour out, okay? And all the paintings that I've done before, the sip and paints with acrylics, you can do those with watercolours. You don't have to have acrylics, okay? Today, I'm going to be drawing with my biro. And look how dodgy this biro. This is one of Harry's old biros, so it's a comic biro, Incredible Hulk, whatever. So again, this is out of one of the kids' school pencil cases. So if you haven't got your kit yet, if you haven't managed to go out and get some supplies, then you can find some. On that note, I was here just a minute ago before Colin came and did my interview, and David phoned me to say it sounds like schools are finishing on Friday, and you know, we all know that we are, hi Ivy, woo! That's one of my little students that I normally teach on a Friday. She's doing it from home, which is awesome. Yeah, obviously schools are closing now, and there's going to be pupil-free days for the teachers to get everything online next week. You know, let's be honest, we are a couple of weeks behind Europe with this, and given that terrible situation of that cruise ship and 3,000 potentially infected people that got off the boat on Saturday, who knows where we're going to get to. So this weekend, while you can, why don't you go out and get some art materials, or raid the cupboards, or raid the school bags, and get the kids a little kit like I showed you. Let's flip it around again so that you can see. This is my DIY kit using all the bits and bobs out of the kids' drawers. You know, here we are, made homemade watercolors. I'm going to keep on showing you all these sort of things to show and help you that if you're locked down at home, you don't need to have everything. All right, that said, get your paper. Here we go. Get your biro. If you don't want to use a biro, you can use a pencil. I'm going to put you up on my clamp. So let me clamp you on. So then hopefully this is going to work and you can watch the drawing. So kids, get yourself comfy. Adults, if you want to, give me a hi. Tell me how you're going today, doing your homeschooling. And let's get started on our art lesson. So this beautiful drawing is again from my Art and Wellbeing book, which I absolutely love. And it seems uber appropriate at the moment with everything that's going on to do these beautiful pictures. So this is it's going to be a bit backwards on yours, but this is the right-hand side of my picture and this is the left-hand side, okay? So this is my right-hand side, this is my left-hand side. If it's different for you, doesn't matter. Do whatever you feel comfortable, okay? All right, let's go, kids. So I should say I want it in portrait. So let's just move it around. And I've put this paper towel underneath. You could put newspaper because watercolor is so wet that I want some absorbency underneath, okay? If you haven't got any, then don't worry. You might just want to put an extra piece of paper underneath because watercolor only really comes to life once it dries. Hi Alex, nice to see you. Hope the kids are ready to go. We're about to start drawing and painting. So we're kind of doing this beautiful lady flying across on the diagonal. Let's start. Here's my center point. Work out where the center of your picture is. I'm just going to do a dot for you to see. It's right here. Here's my center point. I'm going to go up to the right of my center point, and we are going to do a half semicircle. This is going to be her face. Now I'm doing it in biro, so I can't really make any mistakes here. So we're going to go down, around. I'm going to give her a slight point on the chin, up, and around. So it's a bit like, it is a semicircle. If you're using pencil, you'll be able to edit that as you go. If you're using paint, then just try and see where you might want to put a pointy chin, okay? So we've gone down, around, up. Now we're going to put in two eyes. The eyes on this are really cute. She's got wide eyes that are split open. So we're going to have one on the right side, cute, and one on the left side. They are upside down U's, the letter U, okay? Hi Ren, hope the kids are all ready to go and watching. Evie will love this. This will be up on her bedroom tonight, I'm sure. Okay, we're now going to put the two nose in. The nose, nostrils, the two nostrils go in the middle. Just two little cute dots. Two little cute dots. And then a line straight across. And this is going to be the mouth, but we're going to do those scribbly little lips that I did last couple of days ago. So don't be too perfect about how your lip shape is. It can be however you want it to be. So if I was doing it really perfect, I would have beautiful arches that are really similar. Similar in shape and height. But this picture's a bit more loose, so it doesn't matter. All right? Okay, we're going to go up and do the fringe now. So here's the nose. I go above the nose, and I'm just going between the forehead and the eyes. So starting about there, and I'm going to swoop down, and I want to go to stop there, and then I'm going to do the other side and swoop down the other side. So she's got a lovely little side parting. Now, take your pen, and you want to take your pen, and you want your pen to go in line with her eye, and we're going to end up going right up and over to make her hair, okay? Right up and over to make her hair. So let's go from this side. And you can make her hair as tall as you want, okay? You can make it as tall as you want. I'm going to lift that up and bring it in just so you can have a good look. These aren't just for children, these classes. My mum's been doing them in the UK, so they're suitable for everybody. Now she's got a little side knot, this little cool girl. So and it's kind of a bit wobbly, so we're going to do a little side knot on the edge. Now we're going to decorate her hair with stars. You can do as many stars as you want. Now I love, in pictures like this, I love really, really cutesy kind of stars that aren't perfect. If you want to do a perfect star, let me show you how, okay? I'm going to show you on the back of this one. You do a triangle this way, and then turn it upside down, and do a triangle that way. Then you can rub out those lines, and you've got a beautiful 6-pointed star. But we're going to do a 5-pointed star, and I want it to be kind of like, you know, a book illustration. I want it to have that cutesy look. So let's pop her down. I'm going to start off with this one. So I do the point and down. I go out to one side and back in. I then do the bottom of the star and go up to the middle, underneath where that first point is. Then I go out and the last one. And it's kind of, it's irregular and a bit wobbly, and that's perfect. Okay, you can do as many as you want to, and you can make them as big or as small as you want to. All right, so I'm going to do 3 that side, and I'm going to do 2 on this side. Again, make them a little bit wobbly, give it that kind of book illustration feel. That's my stars. All right, she's looking gorgeous. Let's go down beneath her chin, and we're going to do her neck. Goes that side. Now, in this picture, her arms are flying this way. Okay, excuse my bingo wing. I need to do something about that. Her arms are flying that way. Okay, so that means her neck is going to be a bit more curved, and it's going to go up at one side where that shoulder is going upwards. Okay, you don't do the arms, it's just the neck shape. So that's a bit more like a V, whereas that is a very soft curve. Good so far? Beautiful. All right. We're going to draw her back. Now she's wearing a beautiful nightie and a nightgown. So from her neck here, we do a small shoulder, not a big one, a small shoulder, and then we're going to go all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Quite a long way, because this is a long night dress. It might not look correct at the moment, but it will do, trust me. All right. Now from here, we're going to do a beautiful kind of flowery leaf neck piece. Now you can do a leaf shape like this. So you could go along and do a leaf shape. So I'm just doing that kind of leaf shape. If you don't want to do a leaf shape, you could do a flower shape. So you could make it like a daisy shape. Or you could just do this, do a curve. Curvy, 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 curvy. And you can have, or you could do it kind of irregular. Again, we want it to be nice and loose, nice and spontaneous, and personal to you. So make that collar however you want it to be. All right, guys? Underneath where the chin, underneath where the neck is, from about here is where I'm going to start the bottom of her nightie. All right, so I'm going to do a line. I'm going to make it swoop and curve a little bit and get to about there. Join those 2 lines up. And that, I know it still looks strange because we haven't put any legs or any arms in, but that's kind of where we're getting to so far. So let's just check you've got everything. You've got this collar piece. And don't worry too much about what the shapes are. It's nice and loose. Then you've come down underneath her cheek. This is where we're starting with the bottom of the dress. And we go under, swoop down, and then we're just joining dot to dot. Join the 2 points up, all right? Okay, we're going to put some buttons on her nightie. Is nightie an Australian name? It is in England. Nightgown, pyjamas, and put the 2 little buttonholes in. You could do 4 buttonholes if you wanted to, or you could not decorate it at all, entirely up to you. And then I'm going to put a pocket on it. So let's put a pocket down here. You can make the pocket however you want. I'm going to put the little scallopy edge like we have on the frill there. And I think I might put little stitch lines as if it's been hand stitched on. In fact, I think I'm going to put a little stitch line up through the middle here. This isn't on the original drawing, but I just fancy doing that. So I'm just going to put those stitchy lines there. All right, the bottom of the dress is the same kind of scalloping. So it's like a frill of the bottom of her nightie. And I'm not making it perfect by any shape or imagination. It's just a very loose kind of shape like that. All good so far? Brilliant. Okay, now the next two bits, I'm going to turn it this way so you can see it. The next two areas are a little bit trickier because we need to get the arms and legs in the right place. So I'm just moving that paper so it's in a really good view for you. Let's go up there. All right. So the two arms go out this way as if she's flying. So one arm is going to come out from this side. I'm going to make her come from about here. All right? Sort of not at the very edge, not in the middle, about halfway. And it's going to come out and go over. And her little hand is like a little triangle. Her little hand is like a little triangle. Gorgeous. The other arm is going to come out from here and it's going to fly up. And again, it's going to go into a triangle. Mine's gone right to the edge of the page, but I'm okay with that. Her legs are very similar. They're just going to be stick lines and stringy little legs and arms. One leg is going to come down and I'm going to put her in little heely type shoes with a little bow. And then the other one is going to go across and here's her heely type shoes with a little bow. Really dainty, really slender, really lovely. So that's our girl pretty much drawn. Now we need to put in her beautiful night sky. So guys, go to town here. You can decorate it however you want. We want stars, planets, moons. Don't colour anything in. This is just a line drawing at this stage, okay? Unless you're doing like a pencil drawing and you want to colour in. It's just a line drawing, just lines. I'm using a biro, you might be using a pencil. All right, so let's go back down to here. Beautiful. Okay, so the easiest way to do planets is just draw some circles. So I'm going to have one there. I'm going to have a bigger one here and I'm going to do those Jupiter rings. I'm going to have a large one here. And in this one, I'm going to kind of do just some kind of, what would you call them, meteor crevices, craters, just a bit of shaping, just to give it a bit of detail. I'm going to go up here and do another one with a single ring and another one up here, a wide ring. That feels like it should have another one in the middle. And then I'm going to draw the crescent moon up here. And a crescent moon is just a backwards C or a banana. Think of it as a banana. That's super easy then, isn't it? Beautiful. Now, you've mastered doing the stars in her hair, so let's fill the background with a whole load of stars. You could also do swirls if you want, like this. If you want to give it some patterning. You could put some flowers or some hearts in your background. You can personalise this however you want, okay? So I'm just doing, oh, that went totally wrong. Never mind, it's going to be a jiggly jaggly star. Doesn't matter, does it, at the end of the day? All right, beautiful. I think that's it for my drawing. Now we're going to paint. Now I'm painting with my DIY watercolours that I did out of my felt tip pens. So let's just bring these in. So like I said, they're cracked open, felt tip pens in water. They look absolutely gorgeous in my little bottles. And that's what we did. So again, you can see, I wanted to show you this one here. So I want her hair to be orange. This is the red and the yellow mixed. So I'm going to show you how I did that straight away. Dipping into my red, I'm going to put the red on her hair first. Now, because this isn't watercolour paper, I'm just using something that you'd have at home in your printer. And because of that, it's quite inexpensive paper. It's not high quality, which means it's going to get super wet and sticky really quickly, all right? So don't worry if it starts to go really, really wet, then it will dry, but don't rub too much. And the key with watercolours is not to push your brush on and go, if you push and go really scrunchy, you'll pull all the fibres of the paper up. So you need to just go really soft, my hand's at the end, and you just push the colour around. Okay, gonna wash that colour out. I might put the water up there. And I've got a little towel just to blot it off. And now I'm gonna go into my yellow. And I'm gonna drip the yellow on top of the red. So I'm not painting it. It will find its own way and bleed its own colour. So don't paint it. If you paint it, you'll probably end up ripping the paper. So just let it drop. If it's too yellow, add a few drops more red, because we're looking for that orangey colour. That's probably as good as I'm going to get it. So I'm going to wash my brush, and I'm going to call it quits on that. Oh, I didn't do her knot, her little bun on this side. So let me just colour that in. Missing a bit there. Okay, and now a tiny bit of yellow on it. Okay, I'm just going to let that settle. Can you see how it just stayed within the paint there? It didn't move at all, so it's really easy. Okay, I want to make her dress, her pyjamas, pink and red. So using my red, I'm going to paint all of these petals or leaves. Because this is really watery, it's not like real watercolour, because it's obviously already been mixed with the water. You need to just let the paint sort of move around. If you're using regular watercolours, you might need to dip it in the normal water and then obviously go around your cake of watercolour. It depends what you've got. So that's that bit there. I'm also going to do the same colour down on the bottom. So I'm just dropping this paint down. Beautiful. I think while I'm doing the red, I'm also going to do a red planet there for Mars. Sometimes it's easier to paint things when you're doing one colour at a time. And I think I'm going to do these rings in red. Alright, now I'm going to wash my brush, get rid of all that red. And now I'm going to use this beautiful pink. And I'm going to paint all of her nightie in this lovely... So this was an actual highlighter pen. So I broke the highlighter down. It did have a pink felt tip in it when I did it last night, but when I came into work this morning, the pink hadn't done anything really, so I found an old highlighter pen, and now I've got this kind of beautiful neon colour, which is really, really, really lovely. Okay, so I'm dipping it in my pink. I'm being super careful around my lines. Now, if you have used a felt tip pen or a texter, then the problem is with textures, just like you can see with me creating watercolour, is that as soon as water touches the black, it will bleed. So that is why I painted with biro. If you've done it with pencil, it won't matter. You'll be able to paint, it won't smudge the lines. But if you've done it with a texter, you might end up having a bit of a bleed. But that's okay, just own that, that's okay. That's all right, we don't mind. All right, now I want to add a little bit of variety. So I've got a little dip into purple, and I'm just going to dip it down and let it spread. Okay, dip it down and let it spread. Just as so, oh, I did a bit of a drip. So I'm just sort of moving it around, and so that the pink just isn't all one colour. Good job. Okay, wash that out, and I think we'll have a pink planet down here. Lovely. I think I might do an orange planet here, so I'm just going to put the red on and then do the same as I did with her hair. You can, kids or adults, you can choose whatever colour combination you want, okay? You don't have to follow my colours at all. If you're stuck for ideas, then that's why I'm here, is so that you can follow me and it doesn't become too daunting. But if you've got your own ideas and you want to do everything, I don't know, spotty, then do it spotty. Okie dokie. Now we're going to go straight for the yellow, and I'm going to paint in all of my stars, Okay, so I'm starting down here. And I'm not going to worry about painting them too exact. I'm just going to loosely paint the stars in. I think I'll do yellow for this ring here, because that'll look really nice against the pink. A random weird star there. I'm going to keep my moon white, all right? I'm going to keep my moon white. You might want to paint it yellow if you want to, but I'm going to keep mine white. And I'm going to do this planet yellow, because we haven't got a yellow planet up there at the bottom of it. Okay, a couple more stars to do. One here, one there, one there, and one there. Gorgeous. And I might paint her pocket yellow, I think. Like that. This bit here, just purple. Oh, I just bled. If you get to a point where you've bled like that, use a bit of kitchen towel, just pop it on, give it a tap, and it blots it off for you, okay? So don't panic. Okay, I got that purple. I'm just going to go back over it so it's a bit darker. And I'm going to do her buttons in purple as well. So I'm going to do those buttons in purple. If the purple is not dark enough for you when you've made your colours, or the purple you've got or the colour you've got isn't dark enough, just make your own colour. So I'm down dipping it into blue. If I dip blue onto that purple, it's going to create another shade of purple which is slightly darker. Yeah? So I'm using a little bit of the blue, dipping it on, and it's going to be slightly darker. I'm going to use that for my shade for this one. Beautiful. I want to add some purple in that one too. Let it swirl. The great thing about watercolours is all that gorgeous mixing of the colours. And that colour there I'm going to use for my planet down here. I'm going to colour all in purple. Again, try not to push the paper too much because otherwise it just rips. And then I'm going to get my green and I'm going to do my craters in green. And I don't mind if it spreads like that. That's going to give a nice kind of tone change. There we go. Lovely. Okay, now we're going to do the background. And for the background, I want to create a night sky. Can you adjust my camera image? I just can't see the painting. Sorry, guys. There we go. I must have adjusted it to do the hair and I didn't adjust it back. Is that better? Hope so. Thanks, Naeem, for that top tip. Okay, so you can see I've got a few splodges. I've gone out the lines a little bit. Let's not be precious. Now we're going to do the background. Now, some of you might want to go really, really dark on this and go down the night sky. I always say to my students, less is more, don't I, Ivy? I always say less is more. So I'm going to start light and I'm going to build it to darker. So I'm going to start with this lovely green colour. And I know, technically, green is not the colour of the night sky. But actually, there is no real colour of black, is there? It's the same as white. They're actually, black and white are not real colours. They're just mixtures of colours. So, and I haven't got black anyway, so I'm not painting with black at all. But I'm going to start with green, and I'm going to show you how we build the colour up. And I want it to be really soft. I'm not going to go really, really close to all my drawing, because I want it to be that lovely, loose watercolour effect. I'm going to go around my... This would look lovely in a nursery or something, wouldn't it? Or a girl's bedroom. Or if the title of this picture in the book, got some random bit of something there, let's get rid of that. The title of the picture of this is called Flying Meditation. And there is a beautiful meditation that goes with it that I might read later for you once I've drawn this, once I've finished painting, and you might enjoy it. Kids, you know, it is a really difficult time at the moment, isn't it? We're a bit scared and we're a bit sad, and you're probably looking at mum and dad and they're always talking and worried about things, and there's news on more than there ever normally is. And it's a bit of a worrying time. But art and music and creative things and sport are a lovely place to get lost. Get lost in your own thoughts, a safe place to recharge your batteries. You know, it doesn't matter how good you are, and the word good does my head in anyway. It doesn't matter if you copy this and her head is gigantic. It doesn't matter if you copy this and you decide you want the eyes to be open and Karen painted them shut. That's fine. I want you to explore and experiment and try different things. The key with art is about the enjoyment of the process, about giving yourself the chance to have a go, giving yourself the safety of not worrying about what the finished end result is, but just actually, I did that. You know, my mum, bless her, she's 73, she's in lockdown, and she's done every single one of my art classes. And, you know, she's sort of apologising a little bit for it. And I said, Mum, don't you dare apologise for that. Well, I've managed to encourage her to put them up in the guest bedroom, and she's creating a little gallery up there. And I think that's fantastic. That's what we should all be doing. I said to my kids yesterday, obviously they're homeschooling, and I said, you know, go out, find something to do, write a little poem every day about how you're feeling in this strange little time. Take photographs of what you might see on create a daily journal, or maybe you want to start a blog. You know, it can be absolutely anything. Doesn't have to be 1,695 TikToks, although there is something to say that TikToks are creative as well. But there's so many things that we can do, and this sort of art is beautiful. So if you don't like me chatting, sorry about that, you can put me on mute. And if you don't like me chatting, or if you think there's somebody that would really benefit from painting this painting, then the way to do it is Google some beautiful sort of meditation music and just draw and paint this gorgeous painting with that music in the background. It would make such a difference. Sort of gives you that floaty feeling of floating up into the sky, doesn't it? Letting go of all of the worries that we're feeling at the moment, letting us feel light and airy. I can see myself drifting up past the gap, up into the sky, up past the lorikeets, flying higher and higher and higher until we're right up into space, looking down on the world. And that's when you realise that you're just this tiny little piece of a puzzle. Very important piece at the moment though. We all have a responsibility to each other to make sure that we're all safe. And keeping ourselves sane and having some enjoyment and trying some new things. Maybe it's a jigsaw puzzle. Maybe it's my son at the moment is trying to get 50 kick-ups with his football. So he was out there last night kicking away. He's determined that this is the time when he's going to learn how to do it. Good for him. All right, so I've done my one colour, and now I'm going to add in some blue. So dipping it in the blue. I'm not washing my brush in between, and I'm not going to try and blend these colours. I'm just going to let them merge themselves, okay? So I'm just dropping the colour on. Remember, these are the paints that I made out of used felt tip pens. So if you are using watercolours, traditional watercolours, where you need to wet your brush and then rub it on a watercolour, then make sure your brush is super, super wet so that you don't have to paint too much. You want to just let it drop nicely onto the paint, onto the paper. All right? And like I said to you, this is just regular paper out of a printer. It's not high quality watercolour paper or anything of the sort. It's just the same as you've got at home. All right? Beautiful. So I'm going to go around. I'm going to try and put some blobs of blue here. So you can see that already my night sky is starting to get darker. And because of the crinkles, I'm starting to get some texture and where all the colours are moving, which I'm really loving. Now, what colour do you think? Let's ask Ivy, who normally comes to my art classes, or Louise, your kids are there, hopefully watching. What colour am I going to use, kids, to make this go darker again? All right, I've got red, pink, purple, green, blue, or yellow. Which one of those shall I use? Let's see who says the answer. I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm watching, I'm watching. Which colour shall I add to make my night sky a little bit darker? I'm pretty sure you know the answer. Oh, you're failing me. Come on, kids. All right, well, because people might be waiting, I'm going to have to say it. Am I going to say it? Anybody else know? Alex, do your kids know? Which colour shall I add to my background? Or Ren, do you know? Maybe Evie knows. What colour should I add to make my sky darker? I haven't got black. Any ideas? Well, I'm going to use purple. Okay? Purple, if I add it into my pockets of blue, it's going to create a deeper, deeper blue. Okay? And I'm just going to let the purple merge. Oh, Amelia, yeah, you could be blue, but I've already used blue and I already used the green. So I'm going to use the purple. But thanks, Ivy, for that. Okay. Now, this is where you've got to be careful because this is a dark colour and I don't want it to run over my stars. So I've got to be really careful where I'm going to dip and dab it around my stars. And if it starts to move, I'm just going to sort of trail it away a little bit. You might decide that you want yours much, much darker, in which case you might have started to paint with purple instead of blue, okay? And that's absolutely fine. I wanted mine a little bit lighter. Remember what I said, if you feel like you've got too much paint, just use your cloth, toilet roll, kitchen towel, give it a dab, failing that, a bit of newspaper, give it a dab and it will just absorb some of that colour and take it away, all right? Okay, she's nearly done. So one final bit for my today's doodle is I'm going to give her a couple of pink cheeks. Do-do-do. 1, 2. And I'm going to give her some beautiful red lips. And there she is. That is my flying meditation. I cannot wait to see your artwork, guys. I am going to put the flying meditation, excuse my hair, I'm going to put the flying meditation story alongside this so that you can read it and read it out loud. It's really quite beautiful. And we'll see you soon. I'm doing some children's sip and paint tomorrow. So 2 p.m. tomorrow. Make sure you've got a little picnic, some snacks, kids. Have it as your afternoon tea. It will be a children's sip and paint, okay? We're going to paint a panda. We're going to paint a panda who's doing this with his hands. So this one, if you've got a canvas at home, use a canvas. If you've got some old canvases, then why not upcycle them? The way to upcycle them is that you could either put paper over the top or you could just get some white paint and paint over the top of them. If you haven't got a canvas and you haven't got, but you want something that you can hang on your wall, then don't forget that the sip and paint I did yesterday, I did it on a cardboard box and it looked just as good, all right? So if you haven't got that, use some cardboard and you can paint on that. So tomorrow is going to be a sip and paint. It's probably about 45 minutes and we're going to be painting a panda that you'll then be able to put in your bedroom. On Saturday night, there will be a sip and paint for adults. And it's a beautiful kind of, I'll do a quick sketch of it. It's a beautiful kind of magical, I wouldn't say a meditation-y kind of thing. It's like a magical, enchanted forest, which again, kids could do as well. It's a beautiful one, slightly different than we've done before, but just something a little bit different. All right, thanks for watching. Please give me a like, give me a shout out, give me a recommend. It'd be great if you give me a recommendation. That would be fantastic. And please share me. This is about sharing the love at this difficult time. Have a lovely day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.